All right, so let's dive into week 8. Now, we have a lot to dive into for this week, i.e., we have. So I literally don't look at these graphics until they pop up.
There's gonna be a lot of fun graphics. I had fun with the graphics this week, Chris.
Football wife, thank God we are back on sports.
And we're headed to golf. She wanted sports. Sports is what she wants, Chris.
It's true. Football is like, damn. That took a while. She's like taking a snooze over there.
I was wondering if she was still here. I didn't know you hated Marvel so much. That's fair.
I definitely didn't see her top 5 list come through.
She just said, "Hey, I would take golf at this point."
Hey,
fair enough.
When we can push you to watch golf, I guess we've done our job.
Kind of done a due service. Yeah. I mean, that's a good moment for us.
It's true. But week 8, we are kicking off here with Ravens at Bucks. I'm with you, football wife. Diaco's like, I'm not into this stuff either. Ravens at Bucks, week 8. Thursday night football coming up here. We have a couple teams that are kind of in weird places. We got the Ravens team who can't hold on to a lead, and we have the Bucks team who are losing to literally everybody. And not even, I mean, Tom Brady's pissed off at the world. He's saying deuces in this picture. He's like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm gonna walk off like AB. And now
that's AB right there, but Tom Brady instead.
So this one, Bucks are favored by 1 in this one at home. Ravens are, feel like the better team in this one, but still even line at this point. 45.5 is the over/under. And yeah, this is, are we going to get Tampa Bay, a team that has lost to the Jets, the Giants, and the Panthers in back-to-back weeks? Or they haven't lost to the Jets and Giants. They lost the Panthers and Steelers the last 2 weeks. Oh, that's right. I'm thinking of, who am I thinking lost to those 3? I'm thinking of another team. Sorry. Green Bay. You're thinking of Green Bay. Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Yep. But either way, Steelers, Panthers, bad losses. Man. Very bad. They scored 3 points against the Panthers, Chris. Against the Panthers. 3. A Panthers team who didn't have Christian McCaffrey, who was on a second coach for the year, who shipped off their top receiver, Robbie Anderson. He's gone. They're playing with whatever's in the back of the shed. They're pulling it out and like, hey, let's play with this. Scotty, this is an uphill battle for the Bucks, who I think, at home, they have to get something right, but I just don't trust in them. What do you got? This is a weird matchup because this is Thursday night. This is, I'm sure Amazon was like, oh my gosh, we're getting Ravens Bucks. It's going to be amazing. I think it was Rec put in our Discord chat earlier today. There is only one matchup this week, Chris, with two winning record teams. And it's the Giants versus the Seahawks. Who saw that coming? So these two teams, I'm a little confused at the line, Chris. The Ravens should be favored in this game, right? The Ravens have to be. Literally, Tampa just scored 3 points against the Panthers, lost the week before to Pittsburgh. It doesn't get worse than that. Tom Brady's in shambles. This offense has been a mess. The defense is probably starting to get mad at him. The Ravens, I know they love to fall apart in the fourth quarter. They drop the ball, as Lamar is here in the fourth quarter. If I were to bet this game, I'd probably go Ravens first half, money line first half on Ravens, just because I don't trust them late. But I don't know why the Ravens aren't favored in this one. I certainly hope the Bucks win. It does feel like a trap, and that's why it's not one of my picks of the week. It's one of my favorite photos, though, of Tom Brady right there, just deucing. I'm out. Could he leave if they lose a couple more games in a row? Would it shock you to see Tom just be like, I'm good? He's 44 years old or whatever, 45. Why play out a season that's just going to be trash? I'd be fascinated by that, but I football wife. I agree. I hope the Bucks win just because
NFC versus AFC, but I can't ever cheer for the Bucs either. So I hope both teams. I hope it's a tie, Chris. Actually, let's just tie.
Mayday, did I hear World Series? Congratulations, Mayday. I know we've talking about it. You have a couple of good teams in Philly right now, so enjoy it. Enjoy it while you have it. It's
Mayday. I know everyone's excited in Philly, but you're going against a juggernaut. I mean, the Astros are really, really good. Haven't lost a game in the playoffs yet. Do you feel like you can beat Houston? Houston's a juggernaut right now. I want Philly to win probably, but I don't think they can. I mean, they definitely can. I just don't think they will. Anyway.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting series. I'll be watching it. I'll be keeping an eye on it.
Football wife, I get your motives. I get why you want the Bucs. Yeah, get the Ravens out of there in the AFC North. I get your motives.
So yeah, if I had to lean to this one, I'm kind of with you. I like Baltimore, but like, there's something strange with this. I mean, 2 losses favored by a combined 22.5 points. The Bucs were, and they just blew those massive leads, or not leads, but point spreads. Like, they were just massive favorites, right? And I'm just like, what? Baltimore's not that bad of a team. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can't run the ball at all. They average under 75 yards or fewer in the last 6 games. So, I mean, they can't get anything going on the ground. They're not good running the football. So if you're not good running the football, there's game plans for these kind of things, right? So I think I like the Ravens in this one, but something's strange. Something's fishy. I don't want to touch it. I know they are really good, but if we split Houston, they got what else we got? 3
really good chance.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I know it's going to be a crazy atmosphere.
I get that.
It's just going to be hard to beat Houston 4 times. 4 times. Rack was like, did you see what the Yankees did for motivation when they were down 3-0 against the Astros? Did you hear about that?
I've seen a lot of Twitter stuff on the Yankees fans, so I don't know. I might have.
It wasn't. No, this is what the Yankees actual team chose as motivation. They chose as motivation to show footage of the Red Sox coming from behind against the Yankees back in, what was that, 2004, I think? Down 3-0 to come back and win the series. Literally, they're showing the Yankees losing a series as motivation. I think they invited David Ortiz to talk. David Ortiz is just like, what the fuck? What do you want me to do? What? You want me to talk to the Yankees? I mean, they deserve to lose off that alone. Your motivation is showing the Yankees losing a series down 3-0. Sweet. Cool, Yankees.
And then Pedro was saying, "Who's your daddy now?" You saw that clip. That was everywhere. But yeah, it's crazy. Big Papi is goated. Says Mayday. STG, I heard that. I feel like they got their psyche down more than anything. Yeah. They literally owned by. I mean, the Yankees.
Couldn't you just show a different sport down 3-0 or something? Anything else? Show the movie Miracle. Okay, show something like that.
Oh my goodness!
It's Halloween week, Chris. It's Halloween week.
It's Halloween. My goodness.
This is one of my favorites.
This is incredible. Oh my goodness. These 2 children are adorable, by the way. They're adorable. And we got a matchup between Mike Ditka and Ezekiel Elliott here. The abs do it for me as well. The sweater for the Bears sweater, and then the abs this does it for me, guys. For all the people on the podcast, you're missing out when we upload this to the podcast. Come check us out live. You'll see all of these graphics. They're absolutely incredible. But we got this guy here: Bears at Cowboys. Cowboys 9.5 point favorites. Bears coming off that win last week, and Cowboys getting Dak back. So Dak is in the fold. No more Cooper Rush. We're full forward with Dak Prescott, and he is getting warmed up. So he's
getting things going here in Dallas. But 9.5-point spread, over under at 42.5 at the moment. So it creeped up a little bit since we built this graphic. But we're both on this game, Scotty. This is a game that we both like. I think the Bears are a little inflated from that last win, potentially. Like, even though we know the Bears aren't very good, but they got that win. They're 3-4. And the Cowboys here at home, I think their defense shuts down the Bears from anything that they were excited about last week. I think this defense will have just a field day trying to get after Justin Fields in this one. So this one, I think that they're going to limit the Bears to, punting and field goals, and maybe the Bears might be able to get downfield, but I just think the Cowboys just go big on this. I think this is easily a double-digit win, which is why I have this as one of my best bets of the week. I have this minus 9.5 for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm taking the chalk on this one, and I think they cover this. I like the Cowboys.
Yeah, I watched the Monday night game with the Bears, and I still can't figure out. I mean, they played well. They played very, very well. I just can't figure out, how it happened, Chris, based off of all the other games where, the Patriots couldn't stop him on the ground. It was not that the Bears haven't had success on the ground, but the Patriots were just, I feel like, somewhat awful on Monday night. And football's about matchups, Chris. You're coming on a short week, Bears. You're on the road at New England. You come back home, then you head to Dallas. Dallas is ready, rested, and Zeke actually, ironically, might not play in this game. So, which actually isn't a bad thing for Dallas because Pollard's the better running back anyway. But it's about matchups, Chris. And what I see here is the worst offensive line probably in the league with the Chicago Bears against the best defensive line in the league with the Dallas Cowboys. I just see Justin Fields' day being very long, very aggravating.
Agreed.
I feel like they're going to create sack fumbles. There's going to be turnovers that create points for the Cowboys. I don't think that you have to go over on this, Rec. I think I could see this as like a 24-10 game. I don't even know if I like the under or the over because I don't think the Bears score a lot of points in this game, to be honest. A lot of people think the Bears figured something out this Monday. I don't think against Dallas. Dallas has certainly a top 5 defense, if not the number 1 defense in the league, and it's a big mismatch on that side of the ball. And Dallas's offense is solid, not spectacular. They're gonna score some points against the Bears defense. I agree with you, Chris. We both have Cowboys minus 9.5.
And what are we, 3-0 or 4-0?
3. I think it's just 3.
3-0 when we agree. We've switched things 180 from what we're used to, Scotty, and we are going a complete 180. We are undefeated so far, knock on wood, undefeated when we agree on a bet this year. So that just means, how the turntables.
How the turntables. Do you understand that reference now, Chris?
I do. Whiskey Bravo, Bears legit, but I got to go with my Cowboys, says Whiskey. 10 out of 10.
He doesn't think that Dallas will score 24. But I said partially Dallas's defense is going to set up points for the offense, just kind of like they did last week against Detroit. And I think Dallas's offense is going to progress as the season goes on. I mean, I think Dallas right now, if I had to rank NFL teams, the top 3 are separated by a lot, and then I probably put Dallas in a tier with only Cincinnati, and I put Dallas in front of Cincinnati based off their head-to-head. I think Dallas is the 4th best team in the NFL right now.
They're playing. I mean, they're only getting better. If that gets better week by week, they're only getting better, and they were already pretty good. So, I mean,
yeah,
you gotta love that.
Before people attack me, obviously the top 3 are Buffalo, Philly, and KC, and then Dallas is a distant. There's a big gap after that, and I think there's 2 teams there with Dallas and Cincy, and then after that it's just kind of a mess, to be honest.
10 out of 10 on the graphics, says STG. If no Cooper Rush, the Cowboys will not cover, says Chairman. Cowboys will have a Fields Day. Hi-oh.
Hi-oh.
Bears made Patriots bench Mac. Maybe they'll make the Cowboys bench Dak. I doubt that.
I don't think so. Rec.
Dallas won't score that many points unless they get some defensive points as Whiskey.
Yeah, I talked about that. They'll put up at least 24 in this game.
So there you go. We both like Cowboys. 42 it does kind of, when you think about it, go against kind of what we always say is like lower over-unders. I mean, this isn't exactly a super low over-under. I mean, it's not down in the 30s.
It's pretty low.
It's pretty low, and we usually say take the points in those. But this one, with the Bears, I think this could be a low-scoring game without the Bears scoring any points.
I think we're going to hit again, Chris. We're going to hit again.
I agree. Here we go. Here we go. Browns and Bengals. So we have Bengals Stormtrooper. By the way, I love the different super fan outfits that they throw together, the costumes and different things. It's so good. You get some creative shit out there.
And this one's actually on Halloween, Chris.
This one, yeah. It's perfect, right? And then you have the Browns here. And you got.
Do you know who that is?
The Cape. Isn't that old boy pass rusher who lists all of the people he sacks?
Yeah, that's Myles Garrett there.
Yeah, all the people he sacked are on the back of that, and then he puts them. Doesn't he put like gravestones in his front yard with like their names too? For Halloween, I think he does that too.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe I could be wrong, but this one is a division matchup: Bengals and Browns. Bengals are favored by 3 in this one. Now the Browns have been, somewhat competitive in this, but Scotty, this year, I should say, over under 47. You have a pick in this game. I haven't picked this game, but you feel really strongly about one side.
Yeah, I just feel like these teams are trending in different directions right now, Chris. I think the Browns at 2-5 are a little bit lost, a little bit panicked. They got a lot of people maybe on the block, not comfortable headed into this one. The Bengals had their best performance of the season last week against Atlanta. That offense looked great. The defense, for whatever reason, Cincinnati's defense is awful in the first half. Absolutely phenomenal in the third quarter and pretty good in the fourth. So they make adjustments. That's kind of how the AFC Championship game went, right? Like they make some sort of adjustment at halftime that is absolutely epic, and they take care of business in the second half. So while it's not like an elite defense, they're great in the second half. And I just think these teams are trending in different directions. And I have a hard time seeing the Bengals not pulling this out now that we're seeing that offense finally take shape. The offensive line's playing a little better. The passing game was incredible last week. He was slinging it around to anyone and everyone. There's just a ton of weapons in Cincy. I don't think the Browns have the horses just running the ball with Chubb and Kareem Hunt and to keep up with Jacoby Brissett. I just don't see it happening. I like the Bengals to cover 3 here.
Yeah, I think if I were leaning, I would probably lean Bengals too, just for those reasons as well. But the one thing that so Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney back in action, so they could be effective if Cincinnati's offensive line doesn't quite get there when it comes to the coverage aspect of just protecting the quarterback, right? So there's that aspect, but there's also, I think that Cincinnati's defense is a little weaker against the run than the pass, and that's kind of what plays into, some of what Cleveland loves to do is run the ball. But that being said, those are the things I worry about. I still lean Cincinnati for just obvious reasons of the high-powered offense that this team has, and I just don't know if Cleveland can just handle what they have to put out there when it comes to those wide receivers. And Joe Burrow's playing a lot better week by week, it seems. I feel like he's getting back in that rhythm that he was last year when they were on that roll. So I'm like, I gotta lean Cincinnati in this one as well. But this one I think is going to be maybe a little closer than people think. I got the Bengals winning. Maybe I'll say.
I feel like at worst, this is going to be a push for me. I feel like maybe the Bengals win by 3, but could win by more.
And you actually got this before it got to 3.5, because I think currently it's at 3.5. So
I did.
So
no big deal.
No big deal. You got it. You got it when it mattered, right? Let's see. What else do we have in the chat here? Great pass rusher, bad driver. Says Cuban. Garrett has
all those. It's a little wild behind the wheel.
Garrett has all those tombstones, but that doesn't hide the fact that he can't beat Dan Moore Jr. for some weird reason, says Rec.
That is a super weird thing. It's an anomaly.
Thank God we make adjustments now. We used to just fold like a cheap tent if we were losing.
Yeah.
I'll take the Bengals to cover. Burrow has the hot hand. That's kind of where I'm at too.
Let's go. Let's all get on board.
Let's all
Team Bengals this week.
Board. All right, so here we go. So we got.
I don't know if you can fully tell what Russ is riding there, but that's like a Walmart quarter red right there.
yeah. It's one of those like put in a penny and you just let's ride.
Yeah,
let's ride. Garrett versus Dan Moore is like Von Miller versus Chuck's Okafor. I don't know, but these scrubs dominated these studs, says Recting. Let's see. Oh man. OMG. Yeah. So we got Broncos at Jags. This is the early game on Sunday. This is in over the pond. Is this in Wembley? I think it's in Wembley. Not
sure.
I think it is Wembley. So they will be there because I think the others were at Tottenham and a couple other places. So, but Broncos will be at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is the home team here, and Jacksonville has had plenty of time overseas. Maybe they've built a fan base, so maybe it's kind of a home field advantage, but I doubt it. So Jags -2.5. They're favorites here in this one at home. Over under 39.5. Now, this game is an interesting one because the Jags are kind of falling back down to earth from like the expectations that we had for them early on when they had some success. And then the Broncos, the wild card for me is there's always that Broncos defense. And I just feel like, they're a top defense in the NFL right now. And anytime you have a top defense against maybe a not so prolific offense, I just think this is going to be a scrap. The Broncos have played close games all year long. Scrappy. They muddy the water. They make it just one of these grindy, close
Isn't
games.
Scrappy another word for being bad?
They...
Sort of. If you're scrappy, that just means you're bad, but you kind of don't get blown out.
Yeah, kind of, in a sense. But, like, part of me is just like, this is, well, first of all, the coaching staff is on the line right now. I think this, if they lose this game, I've heard rumors locally here that the brass at the top, the Walmart guys, they're not liking this discount going on right now. They're not liking these rollbacks happening on these these losses. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that there's going to be a long leash for this coach. And if they lose this game in England, they might be done real quick with this coach. Hackett might be out. So I think that might put together some sort of game plan to try to save his career. But I think, at some point, Russ has got to like turn it on at some point, right? I don't think this Jacksonville defense is going to be like that stout. They'll be fine, but they should be able to move the ball against Jacksonville.
They haven't moved the ball against anybody, Chris.
I know.
The reason. Did you hear Russell speak today, Chris? It's exhausting.
And I also heard what he was doing on the plane too.
That's what I'm talking about. Why? I don't even know what the question was. And it doesn't even matter because I promise the question wasn't, hey, what did you do on the 8-hour plane ride from Denver to London? I promise you that wasn't the question, but guess who broke it down for us? Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited. It's spicy.
Was like, oh, well, the first 2 hours, I looked at tape, I did all the cut-ups, looked at film, did all that. The next 4 hours, while everyone else was asleep, I was walking down the aisles doing high knees. What the fuck? I promise you, Chris, if I was on that plane trying to sleep, and someone was walking down the aisles waking me up doing high knees, I would slap the shit out of him. I would slap the shit out of that man. Like, are you kidding me? Are you saying this thinking that people are gonna take this well? If they were 7-0, people would be like, oh, damn you, Russ, you're awesome. You go above and beyond. Guess what? You're 2-5 and you can't score 20 points in a game. You average like 14, the last in the league.
Right.
I'm just like, Russ, read the room, man.
Dude,
I don't even care what you're doing. Do I believe he did it on the plane? Probably. Do I think he did it just so he could say it in that and so his teammates saw it? Absolutely. Do I think that does a damn thing? No, I don't. Do I think he's out of his damn mind? He is literally an actor playing the role of quarterback at this point, Chris. He's an actor playing the role of quarterback.
So
that's who he is.
You and I have both played team sports, and we've been on buses to other schools, to other, we've been there. And when your team's not doing well, you take those rides a little differently, right?
You definitely don't say let's ride.
I'm putting myself in, like, when you're on a plane, I don't care, even when you're not in sports, when you're on a plane, all you want to do is read or listen to music or watch a movie or chill. And if there's a guy running up and down the aisle of my plane ride, I don't care if I'm in sports or if I'm on a commercial flight or I'm on I'm sitting first class, whatever. I don't want people running up and down the aisles.
I said slap the shit out of him. I'd probably trip him, Chris. I'd probably trip him.
Let's just, like, come on, man. I'm starting to get more and more of that vibe of, like, is this guy real? It's
fake. It's all a show. It's all a show.
I just, at this point, I hope he could just throw the football, because it's not like we're going back to Rippon. Rippon's not the answer, because he wasn't able to do anything. So this is a coaching thing. That all being said, I gotta take the points in this one, knowing it's going to be a close game. Like, I don't think
it's not a lot of points, Chris.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. I still think the Broncos defense might create some turnover, maybe a pick six. I don't know. There might be some. I think they'll be on the better end of the turnover battle in this game, which gives us a little bit more opportunities. If we kick field goal after field goal after field goal, that still feels better with a low spread and getting points. I'll take the points reluctantly. I don't like it. I'm not betting this one. It's not one of my bets of the week, but I'll take. The Broncos got to get a win against somebody, man. Come on.
Yeah, and both these teams are on a 4-game losing streak, so someone's gonna have to win this one.
Someone's gonna have to win. So
I just think it's gonna be the Jags.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Russ is too injured for Denver.
But Chris, interesting question. What if you win your next 5 games, but they're all like 17-13, 20-16, 16-10, 16-13, like things like that? Do you feel better?
I mean, no.
If you're constantly scoring under 20 points, but you're winning?
Yeah, well, yes, I do, because that means our defense is getting some little bit of resemblance of help. If they're getting up to, if you said 20, if they get up to 20, that's great, because we haven't seen 20.
They got up to 23 against the Raiders and lost.
Yeah, so, either way, I don't feel great about, I don't have high expectations for this team this year. So there's not really a lot of expectation, but I'll take some wins. But at the same time, you're in that mediocrity phase of, like, not getting a good draft pick. So then but then we traded draft pick. So it's like, I don't even know, man. We're in a bad spot. So it's rough. Cuban Benny, Russ is too injured for Denver Booze, only doing high knees and campaigning to play because Russ, the brand, can't miss out on his international marketing opportunity. Oof. You're not. I don't think you're wrong. Scotty swore. Where's the bingo card?
Yeah, I did swear. Slap the shit out of him. Chairman also called out a code yellow with I can't even tell what is that? Oh, that's a dog barking. I am going to take a code yellow. So I don't know if Chairman and I are on the same page again, but I am going to start us off with the first code yellow of the night for us, Chris. I will be back.
I would prefer more. Spam that code yellow. Spam code yellow in the chat. And until Scotty gets back, I would prefer more Denver losses so my team's draft pick skyrockets as STG. Conga line, I guarantee you, Jerry Jeudy and company aren't jumping in on that conga line. The Broncos, I don't think they are. I mean, Melvin Gordon's definitely not. Oof. Feel bad for Broncos fans. Thanks, football wife. I'll take your sympathy. Exclamation point chug in the chat. Chris, hug. You want to give me a hug? You can give me a hug. I'll take a hug. Cuban Betty, he's always been about the brand. He's annoying to watch for you. See, yeah, I mean, why didn't we see that? I don't understand. What was
someone need a hug?
I need a hug. Thank you, football wife. Appreciate that. Leave it to Scott to make Broncos fans. Leave it to Scott to make Broncos fans feel worse or worse. Yeah, no, it's Scott always keeps me in good shape. I mean, he suffered for so many years with those Chiefs. He deserves to have some time in the sun. Russ is so phony. He's being offered a new customers at T-Mobile. Yeah, true, probably. Oh man, this team, Jags aren't on a good run either. But like, I just pray for me. I'm gonna need a lot of it to get through the rest of this season. But if we fire the coach, things could change. I mean, we open up the offense. By the way, our defensive coordinator, I've been raving about him on this stream for a long time. I wouldn't hate. I mean, it's a defensive-minded coach, but I mean, I love what he brings. The defense, and I love the defensive coordinator. It's been fresh. It's been new. It's been creative. I can't say that about the offensive side of the football. So, I mean, I'll take one of those. I'm excited about this guy calling the defensive side of the football. That's for sure. Is Russ even playing in this game? He is playing in this game. He will play. He's already given the go-ahead. So, yeah. Yes, Zrek. Denver's defense is truly saving the grace for this team. Excellent defense. There's even people that watch a lot of games that are like, this guy's drawing up defensive plays that are more creative than we've seen in the league for years. So, I mean, I love it. I love the fact that we have somebody that knows what the hell they're doing at some point. Next up, yeah. It's always a surprise. Maybe I should never look at these graphics ever. I should never look at them.
I decided to just have fun with them all this week, Chris.
Yeah, I think so. We got the Packers and the Bills for Sunday Night Football. By the way, if you guys don't know, if you weren't here earlier, Sunday Night Football, we have something brewing that could be a lot of fun. We know it's going to be potentially a lot of fun, and we want you there. So make sure you guys are there watching us and some new elements.
Dare I say it could be fire, Chris?
It could be fire. Much like this Bills image right here, getting literally lit on fire, or much like the Packers season getting thrown up in flames. So, sorry, Milwaukee's. I couldn't pass on that opportunity. Packers at Bills.
Milwaukee's just like, Packers win, next game.
You don't want to talk about this one, Milwaukee's? We could talk about it.
I got to talk about it. It's one of my bets of the week.
It is one of your bets of the week. Bills, Packers, and this one, it's the big spread here. 11.5. And I was thinking about this. Aaron Rodgers isn't an 11.5 point underdog very often in his career. If not, I think this is the only time he's ever been.
Ever?
Yep. And so with that, it's kind of crazy to think that even an Aaron Rodgers team getting 11.5 is not juicy to take the 11.5, knowing that you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers and a decent, you would think, Green Bay team that 11.5, a defense that we thought was going to be a top defense that hasn't necessarily shown that, but still has some talent. You would think, man, the go-to is taking the 11.5 and running. But Scotty, you might think otherwise on this one. Scotty, tell me what you're thinking on this.
I think that's exactly what the simpletons are thinking, Chris. The basic bitches out there are like, I can take Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and get 11.5 points. Like, they can't possibly be this bad. They're going to compete. This is a big game and a big moment. They're going to be fine. Are they? They're going to go against, what most people feel is the best team in the NFL, and I wouldn't even argue. I'd rank them right now number one in the NFL. That's totally acceptable. The Packers are 3-4, Chris. They're minus 18 point differential. They have lost to the Vikings, Giants, Jets, and Commanders. They've only beat the Bears, Bucks, and Patriots, and all of a sudden that Bucks win, they won 14-12. Doesn't look that good, Chris. Doesn't look that good. And they beat the Bears, who they always destroy. That was their only good game. Listen, the Bills, I don't know, Rec, if you take the Bills, maybe you have to take the over in this one if you take the Bills. But Green Bay can't really score. They put up 10 against the Jets. Right? 7 against the Vikings. I think they had a defensive score against the Commanders and put up 21. They had a pick 6. So their offense only put up 14 against an awful defense with the Commanders. So I don't know. What I know is when the Bills win, they win big. And the Bills are winning this game by at least 17. Forget 2 touchdowns, Chris. They are winning this game by at least 17. This is going to be a blowout. This is going to be a bloodbath. The Bills are far superior. The Packers are done, dude. The Packers are bad right now. They're just very, very bad. The Bills, the worst part about the Bills is they have idiot fans, but it's also kind of the best part of the Bills. Jump on tables that are lit on fire for some reason. If you have to, I don't know that you have to. What about, I could literally see 34-10. I could see 34-10 here, Rec. No, and not blink an eye. I mean, the Packers aren't going to score a lot in this game. Bills' defense is really good. Bills are rested, coming off a bye. Normally, you'd be like, oh, they'll overlook this game because they're huge favorites. But they're playing Aaron Rodgers and the Packers on Sunday Night Football. They're not going to overlook this game. Not going to overlook it.
Prime time, baby. And
I think most people in the world are just like, give me Aaron Rodgers and 11.5 because that's so many points. And I'm like, give me the Bills. This seems easy.
And can you imagine the Von Miller sacks and he's dancing over, but in the backfield behind Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers can't escape this pass rush with Von just breathing down his neck and just walking off the field. And I can already see it. This should be on the bingo card, Scotty. How many times over under that Aaron Rodgers looks dejected, just absolutely just uninterested in the game, looks up at the scoreboard on the way to the sideline and looks back down, like just the standard, just I don't give a shit anymore.
I don't think he cares.
So the Bills have a lot more to play for. You're right, and I think with this game, I just don't. The firepower on the Bills offense, the defenses are, I don't know, maybe a wash considering we thought the Packers were going to be better. They're not as good as we thought. The Bills were going to be better, and they're pretty decent defense. So, I mean, if you're putting these offenses side by side together, man, I don't know how the Packers can hold the Bills to a decent score in this game. So I don't know. This is wild. Again, Milwaukee's, we have not scored 30 points this year and have scored under 14 3 times.
Let's put it this way. The better that I follow does power rankings says the Bills are the number 1 team in the NFL, 10 points better than an average football team. He puts Green Bay squarely at 0, so a completely average football team. I think that might even be generous, but at 0. Then you take in home field, which in Buffalo is at least worth 2 to 3 points. That gets it up to 12 to 13. I think the Bills are the right side here. Milwaukee says it started at 9.5. I don't think that was this week. Maybe that was in prior weeks. I don't think it was ever at 9.5 this week.
Let's see. The line opened. Let me see where it opened here. Line movements. I don't see where it started at 9. All I keep seeing is 11. I see 11, and then I see 11.5. So yeah,
depending on this week, though, after every evidence we've seen, including Green Bay losing again this past week, I don't think it was ever at 9.5 this week. After all the most recent results, so the Bills were on a bye. Packers continue to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I don't know. So either way, it's massive now. But you love that double digit, big knockout.
The Bills win, and when they win big, usually.
Cuban, LeBron crying because of the Nuggets is pure gold. I can't wait to watch the highlights of this game, by the way. So I've been keeping an eye on it in the corner. Last time I checked, the Lakers were 4 for 20 or something on 3-point shots.
They're 6 for 23. It's 4 for 17, or 4 for 17 for the Lakers, 6 for 23. Both teams are shooting terribly from 3.
So either way,
because we don't have Michael Porter Jr. Bruce Brown has made 4 of 5, and the rest of the Nuggets team are new guys. KCP has made 2 of 4. No one else on the team has made a 3. Murray's 0 of 5. Gordon's 0 of 1. Joker's 0 of 2. Bones is 0 for 4 from 3. Christian Brown 0 for 1. Like, no one else can hit a shot.
All right, next up, Patriots and Jets. We got little baby Zach Wilson. Hide your moms.
Time man of the year in the corner. You can barely slept with his mom's best friend. That's why he's the time man of the year.
Hide your moms. And and then you got Bill Belichick over here, who's just trying to piece his life together. Just trying
to figure out his damn quarterback situation.
And they have made a move at quarterback, so they will be going. They put Zappy on the shelf, Scotty.
Going back to Mac.
The Mac is back. The Mac attack. So they will be going back to Mac Jones this week, which is, I mean, I just don't know what they feel like they're doing in New England. I think they're just trying to like throw darts at a dartboard and trying to figure out like what can fit there. And I don't know what they're trying to do, but I think here's the thing. The Jets lost 2 major pieces on offense, Breece Hall and Vera Tucker last week. So there's a lot of issues with that. Then they got
Vera Tucker's huge. People don't take that seriously. He might have been their best player on offense.
So yeah, and I think that's going to be huge, which is why I think this line is a little bit smaller, and I think that the Jets are going to try to figure out ways to fill that, which is hard to fill. I mean, Breece Hall was having an insane rookie campaign, so it's hard to replace that. But I think this defense is going to be hungry to tee off on a Patriots offense that looked lost against the Bears. It looked absolutely just non-visible, right? You'd expect Belichick's defense to kind of dominate a little bit but I mean, I would have said that about Justin Fields last week too. Like they should have taken care of Justin Fields and they didn't. So, I mean, Zach Wilson, I think that they have some nice pieces that they can put out there offensively that can, give the Patriots some trouble. I kind of lean the Jets in it. I didn't bet this game, but I would kind of lean Jets in New York, Patriots coming in. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with this one. This is an interesting one, though.
So I'm with you. And I think Rec in the chat's like, Patriots are favored? Give me the Jets. Yeah, that on paper you see a 5-2 team at home against a 3-4 team that just got embarrassed on Monday Night Football, coming on a short week on the road against the Bears, who aren't a very good football team. So, by the way, good night, Rika. I don't know if we're saying that right.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Hopefully we'll see you back in the lab here on Sunday. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Sunday night. Good night. Have a great rest of your week.
Football wife Zilph Wilson for the win. Let's go.
Zilph Wilson, let's go. Hi-oh.
So this line doesn't make sense to me, Chris, and that's why I didn't bet it. I'm like terrified of it. I'm like, the Jets to me should be, I think it should be a close line, but the wrong team's favored. Like the Jets should be favored by less than a field goal, maybe 1 or 2, 1.5, somewhere in there. I feel like the Jets should be favored. I know they lost some important pieces, but the Patriots are lost. Mac Jones hasn't looked comfortable all year. It's a short week for them. The Jets are riding high. It's a big. What scared me mostly away is I have glimpses of last year, the Jets against the Patriots in 2 games that Zach Wilson played in, and it was an absolute abomination for the Jets. Like, they got destroyed, if I remember correctly. I didn't look at it for sure to remember if I knew that correctly, but what I remember is the Jets and Patriots played twice last year, and the Patriots absolutely annihilated them both times. So that's why I'm a little leery of this one. And the public's probably pounding the Jets in this one. I mean, the public's probably just thrilled to see that the Patriots are down a little bit, and they're just going to jump on it, right, Chris? They're going to jump on the other team, and take the Jets here, underdogs at home against a team that's down and out. That just seems too obvious. It seems like it's a trap, Chris. Like, somehow the Patriots are going to figure some shit out, or... I mean, do I think the Jets are, like, really that good? No. I think the Jets are probably slightly below average, but they're 5-2. They're 5-2 still.
Surprising people left and right.
And yeah, I mean, I want the Jets to win this game. I think it's good for football if the Jets win this game.
I agree.
But I did not pull the trigger on a bet here.
I would love to see the Patriots keep getting buried in their own division. Yeah, like just to like know what it's like to be at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like just keep burying them. All right. Giants at Seahawks. Ooh, this is like one of the juicier matchups of the week. You got surprisingly 2 teams that no one expected to be where they're at the moment, and I would never have expected going into the season that you would say week 8 a must-watch game is the 4-3 Seahawks against the 6-1 Giants. But that's what we got here. We got a team that
2 winning squads.
Oh my
goodness. The 4-3 team is favored, by the way. By the way, Chris, this Pete Carroll image here is actual footage of him laughing at the Broncos.
I'm sure it is.
Just to be clear.
No,
to be clear.
He's celebrating a play. He's not laughing.
He's pointing and laughing at the Broncos and their situation with Russell Wilson. Sorry, Diacola.
Here we go. Real quick in the chat, Feature Hawk in predictions. We'll get to our best bets if that's what you like. 63 and 43 this year in predictions. Nice. Not bad. Good stuff, man. Love it. 15 subs, and Scotty has to bring back the blow up doll he had last Halloween, and he has to be Zach Wilson on Sunday.
Ooh, I didn't even think about having a Halloween theme on Sunday.
We should have a Halloween theme. Okay, maybe I should think about my costume a little bit.
I'm trying to remember, what was my blow? Oh, was it a Barbie?
No,
it was a Barbie.
It was a Barbie, and it was.
I mean, I know I was. Urban Meyer. I was Urban Meyer. I remember that. But I was like, I don't have a blow up doll, to be clear, everyone. All right. It was a Barbie. I have a daughter. Okay.
The doll is not hers, though.
I feel like that's important to. That's an important distinction.
But the doll is not hers. Let's just be clear. I mean,
bruh. No. I collect Barbies, and everyone just signed off. They're like, I'm out.
And he wears high heel shoes in his spare time. Yeah, it's a thing. No, so Giants at Seattle. This one's I don't want to touch this game at all betting wise because I just don't know what to expect. Yeah, DK Metcalf I think is going to be a big loss in this one. I don't know if this is going to be something where we have Geno Smith struggling to find, because you have Tyler Lockett on one side. You take away DK Metcalf obviously, and then all you have to do is lock down Tyler Lockett. And so will that mess with what Geno has going offensively when he has a couple options that he could throw downfield? Maybe. I don't know. The Giants are 3-0 on the road and they're giving an underdog role in this game. So they are underdogs on the road, 3-0 on the road. So interesting, right? They're well coached, one of the better coaches in the league at this point, the way he's been able to get this Giants team off and running. They've outscored opponents, Giants have, 58-22 in the fourth quarter. So I think that this is a lot to handle if you're Seattle. Seattle can put up points, don't get me wrong. You take away one of their top weapons, who is not done for the season, I don't think. It's not an ACL, so DK Metcalf
not serious.
Not serious, but he'll miss some time. Giants give up 5.7 yards per carry. The Seahawks 4.9. So I think it'll be a tighter game, which is why I lean towards the Giants +3 on the road, given all of the circumstances. I think this is a letdown week for Geno. I don't think he'll be able to be as dynamic offensively with one of your top receivers out. And then I think that the Giants will be able to limit what the Seahawks do on the ground. So if I have a bet, which I don't on this game, I would lean Giants plus, which is crazy to me, the fact that I would take points with the Giants 6-1 at this point in the season. But I think this might be a closer game. Comes down to a field goal maybe, or I'll take the points.
I don't have a bet on this one either, but I would take the other side, Chris. I would lean Seahawks. You're talking about DK Metcalf as if he's like putting up a historic season. Outside of the game against the Lions, where he put up like $150, and no offense, a lot of people can put up $150 against. Hold on, earmuff it, Chairman. The Lions' defense isn't great. And a lot of people can do that. Outside of that, he has an 100-yard game. He had 188-yard game, and beyond that, his third highest total is like 64. Like, he had a 12-yard, 34, 35, 36-yard game. So he's been largely invisible for a majority of games. This offense still rolls. Kenneth Walker is legit. This offensive line, Geno Smith, the play calling is all pieced together. The Giants are 6-1, but they've won coin flip games. Like, they're really like a 3-3-1 team, Chris. They're basically a perfectly average team that's 6-1, in my mind. So at home, Seattle plays great. In Seattle, it's probably the biggest home field advantage in all of football. I would lean Seattle -3, even -3. I actually, right now, I'm kind of mad I didn't take it.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, you feel that strongly about it. I mean, you got to account for DK on, like, going back to that argument. You got to account for it.
And so the offense will be fine. Offense will be fine, and it's not like the Giants are going to put up a lot of points.
Which is why I think maybe that Tyler Lockett's having such a great year, right? He's having a pretty decent year, and maybe it's partly because you're taking away DK as the number one option, and he gets they get burned downfield by Tyler Lockett. So kind of making the defense honest, right? Not making them work for it. But I mean, I think that this game, I think this game is a little closer than people think, which is, again, why I'd be on the other side. But the Giants, I mean, you said that they could be 3-3 and whatever.
I'm just saying that, like, perfectly average. All 7 games have been a one-score game. Those were coin flip games. They won 6 of them. It's like flipping a coin 7 times and winning 6. You're lucky. I'm not saying the Giants are bad. I'm just saying they're not appreciably good.
I mean, the Broncos get in the end zone against Seattle, and they win that game. But that's not what happens, right? The Giants won those games. They won they won them straight up.
Seahawks. They did.
No, yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I like Seattle here, Chris. I like Seattle. By the way, quick break, Chris. The Joker has woken up in the third. And the Nuggets are starting to curb stomp the Lakers. Thank goodness.
I saw that, and I saw that KCP just went down, but I don't think it didn't look injured.
Oh, I'm not actually watching the game. I'm just looking at the box score.
It looked real bad, says Cuban. I hope not. I'm gonna hold my breath on that. I'm gonna take a code yellow while you start off on Steelers and Eagles. So I will be right back and get us kicked off, Scotty.
Nothing I'd like to do more. By the way, this clip here is a rock, paper, scissors duel. I don't know if you guys remember Sirianni, the whole joke there. By the way, spam code yellow in the chat as Chris takes a little break here to do his thing. Not what Cuban Benny does as he falls asleep at night to the female superheroes. Never mind. I'm getting out of hand here. This is Sirianni playing rock, paper, scissors against Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's showing paper. It looks like Sirianni's showing rock. Kenny Pickett's little hand there. No big deal. Steelers at Eagles. I actually like the Steelers to cover this game. I think this is a look-ahead spot for the Eagles. Eagles coming off their bye week, undefeated. I don't think they're going to come back. I think they had a great time in their bye. I think those guys partied their ass off. They're undefeated. They're feeling great about themselves. They just traded today for Robert Quinn from the Bears, defensive end. We'll see how that works out. Trading away a 4th round pick to help them out. Nice move there. I just think this is a bad spot for the Eagles. I also think I'm pretty sure they play Thursday night next week. So this is a perfect look-ahead spot against the Steelers team that, sorry, Rec, isn't great. But I think this is going to be much closer than people think. I didn't make it a pick because I feel like maybe there's like a pick 6 that makes it random or something, like Pickett throws or whatever. But I know Eagles were on a bye. I just think the Eagles, even coming off a bye, are going to be feeling really good about themselves. And I bet they partied real hard in their bye week and aren't totally focused for this game with the Thursday night game ahead. I know it's a battle of Pennsylvania, so maybe that focuses them in, but the players don't care about that. They're not from Pennsylvania. They don't know the rivalry that is Philadelphia versus Pittsburgh. They just play for one of those teams. I think Pittsburgh keeps it close, so I lean Pittsburgh here. Eagles get the win, of course, but I lean Pittsburgh plus 11.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm getting with Pittsburgh. I mean, I know they're probably not going to win this game, but I just think that the Eagles, you might be right. It might be a little close. This is 11-point spread, big spread for this week, and the over-under is 43.5. If I'm betting this one, I'm seeing a low spread, and I'm seeing plus 11 points for the Steelers, who, have covered some low ones or some big ones, and then they've also just lost outright to some big ones that we just like. Scotty, you got burned on a big one previously in this season. So, I don't know what
Buffalo, real bad.
I don't know what I'm getting with this Steelers team from week to week, which is why I stayed away from this game at all costs. I think the Eagles win. I think that, you look at that money line, minus 550, bet 550 to win 100. It's bet 55 to win 10. It's not a question of who probably wins this game. It's more of just, how close it ends up being. So Eagles should win this game. They will probably, but I think that this could be closer than you think. I'm not totally disagreeing with you on that one. Eagles were on a bye though. Pickett played for Pitt in college.
No, I know one player, but in general, these players don't care about that Pennsylvania rivalry. Pickett does. Rex trying to talk me out of my pick. He's like, Eagles were on the bye though, trying to talk me out of it. By the way, Chris, I'm trying. You missed me explaining. I don't know if you remember Nick Sirianni in one of his first pressers as an Eagles coach a couple years ago was talking about rock paper scissors. So this is my best version of Nick Sirianni showing rock versus Kenny Pickett, small hands Pickett.
Oh,
doing paper. Doing a little paper, and paper beats rock, Chris. So maybe the Steelers pull this out.
Yep, I like it. I like where you went with it. Let's get it. Rock, paper, scissors, baby. It's America's game. All right. 49ers and Rams. All right, so we got two teams here that are kind of in weird spots. You got the Rams, who don't look anywhere near where they were expected to be, with the talent that they have and the coaching staff and everything that they put together. Stafford kind of been struggling a little bit. Then you got Jimmy G get thrown in the mix after the Trey Lance, debacle with the injury and everything else. So you trade for Christian McCaffrey, so you have a little bit of a little toy, a little nice new car you can take out of the garage here and start working into your system. It's going to take a few, 2 or 3 weeks to kind of get things under his belt, but Christian McCaffrey will eventually be a nice weapon for 49ers. Over under 43 for this division matchup. 49ers favored on the road by 1.5. Scotty, what do you like?
It was interesting, Chris, because sometimes I take graphics from prior weeks or whatever and to make it a little easier on myself so I don't have to adjust as much. 49ers and Rams already played in San Fran. The 49ers were favored by 1.5 in that game in San Francisco. So this is flipped completely. They're still 1.5 now. They won that game 24-9. They beat up on the Rams. But neither team's coming in hot, right? Like the Rams have lost two. They're both actually. The Rams are 3-3. The Niners are 3-4.
Correct.
I know the Rams have looked bad, but the 49ers got blown out by Kansas City. They lost by 2 touchdowns the week before to the Falcons. Like, are we sure the Falcons or the 49ers are who we think they are? I mean, these two pictures here are like quarterback struggling, Chris. Like, everyone thinks the Niners are a quarterback away, and Jimmy G isn't it. And then you have Stafford, who's just struggled this year. I mean, that offense has struggled outside of him throwing to Cooper Kupp. No one else exists on that offense, Chris. It hasn't been pretty. He's been on his knees a lot. Take that for however you want, chat. But he's been on his knees. Okay.
Bruh.
So I don't have a great feel in this game. It's a division matchup. It's a rivalry. The Rams already lost to him once. Do they want to lose to him again? They're coming off their bye week. Like, I want to lean Rams, and I do lean Rams, but I don't have a strong feel on this game. This game's like a toss-up for me.
You know what? I mean, you kind of talked me into this, though. You know what I like kind of in this one is the under, potentially, right?
Yeah.
I feel like the under sounds decent. So, I mean, I'm looking at this now. You know, both these teams combined for 33 points in week 4. And 37 in the NFC Championship game. The under at the Rams home game since they debuted in SoFi are 17-5. The unders at that stadium. So the past 4 games overall haven't seen 35 total points scored. But I'm kind of all of a sudden like high on this under. I think the under. These two teams maybe struggle a little bit, and maybe their defenses play a little bit better than their offenses, because you're not going to get a ton of points from the Rams. That's not happening. And the 49ers are still going to be working in Christian McCaffrey. Who knows if they're going to be like in a rhythm. That might take some growing pains that they might not have, set right now. So honestly, all these trends, I kind of take the under on this one. Under 43. I mean, it's kind of juicy.
In the chat, we have the comment that the Milwaukee's put 49ers usually own the Rams. SCG agrees. Outside of the NFC Championship game last year, where the Rams obviously beat the Niners to go on and win the Super Bowl. Looking at their history, just to make sure, you go back last year, regular season. In LA, Niners won in overtime, 27-24. So by own, they won the game, but it was a coin flip game in overtime, tied it into regulation. They blew them out, no doubt, 31-10 in San Fran last year. The year before, you're looking at a 23-20 San Fran win, and a 24-16. Like, a lot of these games, the Niners are winning, but
it's not dominant.
They're close games. So, yeah, no doubt the Niners have kind of owned the win-loss here. But the games have kind of been tight where, like, it could have gone either way. The Niners pull it out. I don't know. The Niners aren't in a good place right now, I feel like.
I think the Niners are going to be a team that gets better as the season goes on. Or if they're not, they're kind of like, they want to remind me of those teams that, remember when the Ravens got those wild card, and they ended up getting on a run and going to the Super Bowl, or the Giants wild card going on a run. And those teams, that's kind of what I feel like the 49ers strike me as this year is, getting into the playoffs barely and just going on a run. That's
that's kind of what they did last year.
Yeah. So I think that's in the realm of possibility this year too. So we'll see. But
I agree. I actually think the Niners by postseason, and not that they're not a better team right now, they're favoring the road, but the Niners in the postseason are probably more dangerous than the Rams this year, in my opinion. But in this game, in this spot, in this situation, Rams off a bye, needing a win, already losing to them, I kind of like the Rams there.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, I don't know if I want to side on that one. I just more like the over the under than I do anything else in this game. So under 43 is juicy. maybe I'll throw that one on as my pick of the week as well, or an additional pick to my picks of the week, but not officially for what we're doing here. Let's go ahead and look at our picks of the week, our best bets, and we have a couple here that we didn't talk about. So we're going to talk about yours first, Scotty. First, you have Dallas minus 9.5, Buffalo minus 11. We talked about those already. Cincinnati minus 3, talked about that one. But you have a teaser with two teams, teasing them up 6 points, 8.5, plus 8.5 for Houston, and plus 7.5 for New Orleans. Tell us what you like in those.
Yeah, I just think, Houston 2.5 point dog at home against Tennessee. I just don't think Tennessee's won, I know, 4 or 5 straight, but haven't looked appreciably great in doing so. They kind of squeak out games. It's ugly. Their offense can't score. I think Houston's offense might actually be better than Tennessee's. Tennessee definitely has the better defense, but plus 8.5 at home for Houston, I'll take that all day. I think Houston might win that. I think Houston wins that game outright, quite frankly. New Orleans plus 7.5 at home against the Raiders. I just feel like the Raiders are the better team, but I feel like the Raiders don't blow people out. Like, they're just constantly in close battles, close games. They don't win by a ton. They pulled away last week against Houston, but it was way closer than it appeared, and it was like a fluke, defensive touchdown at the end that pulled them away. Otherwise, they just don't pull away from teams. Like, they're just constantly in close battles against teams that they have no business. They're in a close game against a team they should lose against, and they're in close games against teams they should win against by a lot. Like, it doesn't matter who they're playing, they're in a close game. So give me New Orleans plus 7.5, even though they're missing some pieces, including Lattimore probably this week. That's my concern there. But yeah, I like that teaser. Give me those, and I'm going 4-0 this week, Chris.
Going 4-0. Let's both go for it. By the way, our records, you're 17-11, I'm 16-11-1 with that tie. So We're pretty much on the same track right now.
Rock solid.
I'm going to try to look to go over as try to get 4-0 week as well. So we're going to see how that works out. 2 games that I did not talk about in the early on stages. Actually, 3 games. We didn't cover 3 of these. You know what? I'll start from the bottom. Let's work my way up. Carolina, Atlanta. Atlanta can put. We've seen that they can put up points, and also Carolina, I think, is going to be a team that. They were able to put up points last week. I think this game strikes me as kind of a strange one because I feel like these 2 teams will put up points, and over under at 42 seems super low for me for 2 teams that I think struggle defensively in times, and then also can put up points on both ends. So I love the over in Carolina, Atlanta. I think that seems like maybe that's a trap because it seems too low for me. Next, Minnesota. Minnesota is another one. They're playing Arizona in this one. Arizona's coming to Minnesota, who just came off a bye week and have had 2 weeks to prepare for Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals here. Now, they had a huge game with DeAndre Hopkins. I get that. But he was basically their entire passing attack. Like, that was it. And I just think that they're going to be able to slow Hopkins down a little bit more than, if they can take away Hopkins. I don't know. I think they have struggles getting the ball to other people there. Also, 2 weeks to prepare against the Cardinals defense that was gashed by the Saints. And let's just remember that the Saints, there were 2 pick sixes in this game as well to help out their cause. So, this game was a blowout, but, they got a lot of help from the defense as well. The Saints were just giving away points left and right. Andy Dalton was throwing touchdowns to both teams. Let's just put it like it is. So I think this game, I like Minnesota.
Doesn't Kirk Cousins have that potential?
Not as much as what the Saints put out there with Andy Dalton. With Dalton, Kirk Cousins is playing a little bit better than he typically does. Plus, you're in that morning window. He's got his rhythms in the mornings, right? He's good. So I think this line should be closer to like 4.5, maybe 5. I don't know. Maybe I think it should be a higher line here. So I like Minnesota to cover 3.5. I think the Arizona. I just don't believe in Arizona realistically. So there's a lot of that.
I want to bet against both those teams. That's my issue there, but I agree.
And then Miami is the other one. So Miami at Detroit. Now, you already teased this, that you kind of like the Detroit side in this one. I like the Miami side. I think Miami's defense has stepped up a little bit over the past couple weeks. They've, faced an offense that I think is interesting, but I don't know what I'm getting with Detroit. Detroit isn't bad, but certainly isn't good. So I with the Dolphins, well above average team, I think, a top 6 offense in yards per play. I think that they're going to be able to move the ball a lot. Detroit gives up points. I mean, let's just put it like it is. And the Miami Dolphins with Tua back, he looked like he was getting some of the rust out last week, but still had a decent week. And I think that they're, in a good spot to cover 3 against a Detroit team. Even if this comes down to a 3-point field goal and they push, whatever, it's fine. I can live with that. But I think there's going to be plenty of points, and I just like Miami to come out with the win here.
I agree. There's going to be a lot of points. I do feel like you're going to push here, Chris. I have a feeling, and by the way, when I say I like Detroit, it's at 3.5, which is what it is now. It's 3.5 Detroit. Give me Detroit 3.5, but I have a weird feeling Miami's just going to win by 3 or 2 or 1. Like, Miami's going to win this game. Maybe they don't even deserve it, but it's Detroit. But Detroit's going to keep it close and not lose by more than a field goal.
Yeah. So we'll see. It could be also just a complete.
Miami could win by 100 too.
That's what I was just about to say. They could win by 1,000,000, and who knows? But yeah, I just can't trust anything on the other side. Let's see. What else do we have? STG.
Loves my picks.
Love Scotty's picks. There you go. Perfect. Breaking news. Mike Maddox and Jeff Albert walk away from the St. Louis Cardinals coaching staff. Albert's reasoning was fans on Twitter blamed him for hitting struggles. So he's soft.
I mean, you should want that coach to walk away. Like, if you're affected by Twitter as a coach in Major League Baseball, like, what are you doing? If that's your reason for leaving, you shouldn't be in the league. Like, that's crazy.
So you're soft. Yeah.
Fans don't know. Just be like, no, they don't know. Or don't look at it.
No.
Be like, next year, I'm not going to look at it. Like, and keep your job, maybe. I mean, that dude should be fired, much less leave on his own accord. Maybe he was fired. Maybe it was just like a facade. But that's the most embarrassing reason to ever leave a pro sports coaching job I've ever seen in my life. People on Twitter were mean.
I mean,
are you kidding me?
If that's the reason,
are you kidding me?
If that's the reason, then it's like it's his own reason. He said the reason. Albert's reasoning was
I think he yeah.
I mean, so if that was your choice of the menu and that's what you chose for your meal that night, then hey, that's on you, I guess. I mean, thank you, Scotty. I needed that. See, we're here for you. We are really like a therapy session is what we are. Like, and my wife is in therapy, so she'd be like appalled by what I just said because this is not therapy. But
she's like, this isn't therapy. But we think so.
But we are, ears, we're eyes, we're all these things for you guys to be able to, share your thoughts and be able to have this as a safe environment. And Reckoning, you feel better, don't you? See?